Hello guys, welcome back to another video made by me. Today I'm starting with what if Hinata was banished from the Hyuga clan. Right out loud. So, I think her name is pronounced Jessie Miyuni. Yeah, I'll be doing what if Hinata was banished now. I forgot about it, and now I just noticed that I forgot, so let's start. So, I'll be reading someone else's story. It's called 3 Years Later by Alex McEwee. 3 years ago, Hinata Hyuga was banished for the suspected attempted murdering of her father and sister. But the Hokage made a loophole. After 3 long years, Hinata is back, and better than ever. But a certain blondie has also returned as well. These stories are usually about Naruto, but not this one. My name is Hinata Hyuga, and I'm a ninja. Well, at the moment, you can put that as a rogue ninja, but not for long. The day was beautiful today, birds chirping, sun shining, and the earth was practically singing with happiness. But too bad, I was under attack. I blocked the blow of a giant man attacking me and activated my Byakugan all at one moment. He had black, intimidating eyes, and one of those smiles that said, "I like trying to kill people." He had black greasy hair about his shoulders and had on ragged clothing. Although one thing stood out, his headband, Cloud Ninja. When I was still a part of the Hyuga clan, the head of the Cloud tried kidnapping me to obtain the power of my eyes, the Byakugan. And let's just say I still hadn't gotten over it. My opponent was big and powerful, but not the fastest or smartest. And I used that to my advantage. As he swung forward, I ducked underneath the blow and jabbed at his chakra points underneath his arm, one for each hand, then jumped up and slammed my knee into his chin and back handspringed out of harm's way. I watched his arm go slack and his face become constructive of anger as he tried moving his new immobile arm. He roared with anger and came charging after me with his good arm. He really did want to die, didn't he? As he came charging, I pumped chakra into my legs. Right before he smashed me like a pancake, I jumped up, swinging my right leg and smashing my foot into his face with all my might. I heard a snap and he fell like a log as I gracefully landed next to him. He was dead. I had snapped his neck with my kick. I walked away completely unfazed. I checked my surroundings for any other enemies. Having the Byakugan came in handy at times like these. I looked a mile in each direction. Nothing. I was in the middle of the woods. It would be expected. I went back over to the ninja and I went through his stuff. He had a good amount of kunai and shuriken on. I found what I was truly looking for. Money. I needed some way to dispose over the body. I put my hand to my chin and thought, I didn't care where he went. The man looked to be about 200 pounds, so I can lift him with no problem. I picked up the slack body and dumped him into a fast-moving river that I camped by. I watched his clunky body drifted off into the early morning sun. Mornings like these are beautiful, 'cause there's nothing like a good kill before breakfast, right? I sighed and headed back to my camp. Tomorrow's the day, I said to myself. The day I get to return home to Konoha. 3 years ago, I had been banished from Konoha by my so-called family. Hanabi and I started visiting each other after I had been banished by the Hyuga. She said she had missed her only sister and had no one to talk to. So every once in a while, she would come to see me, and I would go and secretly visit her at the Hyuga compound. It was like a game to both of us. And one day, I went to see Hanabi and found my father in her room beating her. Now, since I had been kicked out of the family, I had been training my ass off. And when he was about to bring his hand down once more to hit my sister, I jumped through the screen of her window, grabbed his arm, and watched his surprised face as I knocked him through. the screen door behind him and into the next room. My father, the coward he is, ran straight to the police and twisted the story so it sounded like I jumped through the window and attacked him, obviously trying to murder him. And when asked why Hanabi was in the state she was because I threw her out of the room and because she was in the way of my target. And somehow the people of the city believed him, and I was supposed to be banished all my life. After my so-called trial, the Hokage, Tsunade, called me to her office and asked for my side of the story. She believed me, but told me she could not undo my sentencing. She could only shorten it to 3 years. I took it gracefully. Never being to return home was a cruel punishment, and I don't think I could have done it, but no one knew. Most people that knew I was banished thought I was banished for life. They didn't know about the Hokage's generous deal, and I couldn't wait to see their faces over the new me. I had grown a lot over the past 3 years. My confidence, I can say confidently, had gone up to 3/4 of Naruto's. Naruto, I said under my breath as a happy smile spread across my face. I had grown physically, building muscle mass and strength, and my fighting style had improved immensely. After figuring out I had an affinity for the water element, I had worked to make the gentle fist style more flexible and fluid, next to how stiff and rigid the technique was. I had enhanced my chakra control, making my own move using this control. So as you can see, a lot can change in a person over the course of 3 years. I had grown out of hiding behind those jackets like I used to. Now I wore a light purple sleeveless shirt with an outline of a dark purple fox printed on the back, with a black quarter-length and chain-link shirt underneath for protection. And over the course of my 3-year travels, I had discovered these great new pants called jeans. The black ones were the best, and I had been wearing them ever since. My hair was now put up most of the time, but when I was down, it went to the middle of my back. And now I decided change isn't that bad. I eat breakfast, packed up my camp, and hit the road, heading straight for Konoha. It felt like I was running. If I felt like running, I could make it there by daybreak tomorrow, but I felt like walking. I hadn't been in this area for ages, and I like to take the sights. I remember this road like it was yesterday, that I was walking down it on my first mission with Kiba and Shino and Kurenai Sensei. I slowly walked until nightfall. I didn't feel up to building camp tonight, so I slept in a tree. I woke to a cloudy morning, probably going to rain soon. I went through my bag and grabbed the hat. As I continued to walk, today my banishment was officially over. That's the end of Chapter 1. Let's go to Chapter 2. Chapter 2 is pretty short. After a few hours of walking in the dank morning, I could see the huge red gates approaching. My excitement started to rise as I got closer and closer to home. My excitement caused me to pick up the pace, and finally I was there. I stood one step away from Konoha, right outside the gates, and I took the step back into the city. I looked to the left, and the same guard booth was there to record what people entered and left the city. I heard the barking, and that's when I was jumped by a giant ball of white fur. I felt a wet tongue connect with my face as I was tackled to the ground. Akamaru, you just don't go off and attack random people. He pushed the dog off me and offered his hand. I'm sorry, miss. Are you hurt? I swear to Kami, I almost fainted seeing a familiar face, but I played it cool. Kiba looked no different. Same spiky brown hair, red lines on both his cheeks, and the same loud voice. It's okay, I responded. Akamaru was happy to see me. I looked over at the big dog and motioned him to come over. He ran over, clearly very excited, and I ran my hand down his very big head and scratched him between his ears. I flopped down onto his well, he flopped down onto his belly and I rubbed his belly. Then he got up and gave me a big old lick. I've missed you, Akamaru. Haven't you got big? Are you a big old ninja dog now? He gave me one more lick, then got up and faced Kiba. He was totally and utterly confused, looking at me like I had 4 heads. Anyway, Kiba, I said, playing it cool. Why are you on border patrol anyway? He still looked totally lost, and the sun came out. Finding no reason to wear a hat anymore, I took it off and shoved it into my bag. I turned back to Kiba and watched his confused face turn to bewilderment, then to acknowledge, then to a smile that stretched across his whole face. Hinata? Hinata! And that's when I was tackled for the second time of that day. Kiba was now crying at the sight of me. Apparently I had been banished. 2 rumors went around because the city council would know what the true story. One was that I ran away, and the other one was that I was killed in a random murder. He hadn't known which one to believe, but after 3 years he had given up hope. After telling him what really happened, I almost had to hold him down so he wouldn't go attack my father. I'd ask him how he'd been, and he asked me how I'd been. After an hour of talking to Kiba, I finally told him I had to leave. Kiba, I have to go tell the Hokage I'm back. I told her I would. He reluctantly let me go, but with a promise that I will find him later, so we can talk some more. Waving bye to Kiba, I walked down the main street of Konoha to the Hokage's tower. I looked all around, seeing what had changed, what didn't change. I made it up to Hokage's place without anyone recognizing me. I guess I had really changed. I didn't feel like waiting for the Hokage's reception to let me in, so I went around the back, walked up to one of the walls, and climbed in through a window that led to the hallway outside of the Hokage's office. I just walked in like I owned the place, and I guess I walked into the perfect moment. So I watched a giant shuriken head straight to the Hokage's open window and turned straight into her neck. Lady Hokage, get down, I screamed, running forward and tackling her to the ground. Gosh, I leave and security falls to the ground. I jumped up as the window got smashed open by our attempted murder. I speed forward, activating my Byakugan and aimed for the chakra points in his arms and shoulders, pushing chakra into them to stop the flow and seal it. Hitting him perfectly, I watched his chakra stop flowing to his arms and watched him fall slack. Apparently he wasn't very strong because he passed out from that attack. I turned back to the Hokage, who was giving me this look like, what the fuck? But I ignored it. Well, whoever sent that attack was not trying very hard. And the Hokage's thanks for saving her life was, who are you? I was feeling a bit cocky after saving her life, so I responded, shouldn't the all-powerful Hokage know who I am? Bowing in a mocking way. She was still giving me a confused look, so I decided to end her confusion. Wow, I really did change over the course of 3 years. I'm Hinata Hyuga, ma'am. Lifting my hand and saluting her. The confusion lifted, and she smiled at me. Well, welcome back, Hinata. After the Anbu took the unconscious man out of the room to interrogate, the Hokage turned towards me. Well, Hinata, how was your banishment? Straightforward question. Straight down to business. Okay. So I went through the past 3 years, telling her about my training and improving my bravery and confidence. She stopped me when I brought that up. Did you model your confidence and bravery after Naruto-kun? I blushed and looked down on my feet, tapping my fingers in a gesture I thought I'd gotten past. The Hokage laughed. No need to explain, Hinata. Now, about where you are gonna live. Report back in 2 hours and I have a place set up for you. And again, welcome back. I bowed respectfully and started to back out of the room. No, thank you, Lady Hokage, for giving me the opportunity to come back home. She smiled a kind smile and I left the office. Alright guys, Thank you for watching, and please subscribe. If you guys have anything you want me to do or any gaming that you can make me do, because right now I'm trying to make a creative building world in Minecraft with my friends, and each person's gonna have their own country. Anyways, so this is gonna be the end of this video. Thanks for watching again. Please subscribe. It will help me a lot. You don't really need a like. I don't really care about the likes. And thanks for watching. Goodbye, guys. Rock it away and rock it on.